you would actually have to create everything within, the best way to do that is to create everything within one planner plan. So I've got, you can see here on the screen, I've got my project sitting up here at the top. That's the name of my plan. And then so within here, again, you'd have to put everything within one plan so that you can access and report and meeting the requirements that you've listed out. So that's the first thing. So I got everything in one plan. And then in your next bullet point here, you say, in a perfect world, you'd like a project to be able to be listed under a specific town. So in order to establish that or meet that requirement, what I've done is I've set up these different buckets. You can see there's your Cody. There's your Cody town, and then here's town B and town C, and however many towns you want to put in here. And so we are able, if we look down the Cody town, we can see the high-level activities underneath the Cody that's down below here. Okay, so I think we've met that specific requirement. And then the next one is, as you state, is to list out such things as equipment, permits, and whether or not it's a contractor or an in-house construction. Here again, I had to interpret this fact around the contractor or an in-house construction. Wasn't There's a couple ways I could have went on that to interpreting that, and I'll show you what I did. So again, you can, if I come back over to the plan, you can see those different items here. You want to acquire permits for shelter fiber. So shelter fiber, I put the name shelter fiber inside the name of the task. So there's acquire permits, acquire equipment, and then the third item that I again was struggling a little bit was around the contractor versus the in-house. So I went this way, took this approach. Hopefully I interpreted your written words correctly. So you can see these three activities here. And then one other thing that I want to show you is with respect to the acquire permits. So if I look at the details of this task, you'll notice I've tagged it with the project name, and I've also tagged it with permits. So these are the tags that I've established. We've put it under the Cody bucket. We've established a start date and a targeted finish date for that task. And when it comes to this acquire permits, my instincts say that there may be multiple permits that you need to acquire with respect to the shelter fiber project. So we have the ability to add checklist items in here. So you can see how I listed out a 1 and a 2. And how this works is over on this side, you can easily mark one of these complete, and it kind of drops off, and then the whole task is not complete yet, but that one is now showing up as complete inside of here. So it gives you the visibility of what's outstanding on that task. So that I think takes care of that item, this bullet point item here. And so the next thing you're saying, you'd like to see when things need to get started and be able to view those in one glance. So from within the board view, so right now we're within the board view, that's difficult to see when things need to get started. And again, as you establish the tasks, you want to put your targeted start date and finish date on them. And with that in place, now you can move over to what's called the schedule view. Go to the schedule, and from within here, at one glance, you can see that we have acquire permits, which was targeted to start on the 15th, and also targeted to start finish complete on the 19th. Now, you'll notice that it's red and the rest of these are gray. So you can see your other activities listed down here also for the shelter fiber project, as well as the XYZ project. They're kind of intermingled here together. You can see them all in one view. The nice thing about this being red is this is prompting you that this activity was supposed to have completed on the 19th, and we are past the 19th today, and now you get notified in red here. And also you'll notice that there's a red here showing that this is late. But this schedule view, I think this gives you that insight into being able to quickly see hey, what's on the plate this week, and what do we need to complete next week? And you can advance farther out into the future and see those activities that you have planned out. And so I think this one that meets this as far as being able to see things at a glance when they need to get started. And in addition to that, you get the bonus of when things are things are being automatically shown in which they're slipping past their targeted finish date. And then you want to be able to, the last bullet item here is you want to be able to search across all permits, no matter which project or town they fall under. So let's go back and see if we can meet that requirement. I'll go back to the board view here, and within the board view, we'll have everything in here all in one place. And what we can do now is leverage our filter. And also from here, we could actually apply a filter from here to say, hey, show me what's on tap for this week. So I guess this view also could help you with a one glance as well, in addition to the schedule view. But let's clear that filter and put it back to all, because really what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see my permits. So if I go down to label and I click on permits, now you can see across all towns any of your permit items, and also within that town you'll be able to see the project name that's tied to that town. So I think that meets that requirement. And then you could say, well, maybe I want to look at the equipment. And so you could easily put the filter on for equipment and it too will filter out and just show you those towns. So I'll clear that filter now and put us back to where we can see everything. The other, capability that we have is we can filter by, maybe we want to report on a particular person and show me only the person's activity. So from here, we apply the filter for my name. I can see just, and maybe this is who's responsible for overseeing these activities, so that you can see them there, or this other gentleman who I've brought into the plan. If I switch names in the filter, I can quickly see the activities that the Sunil is responsible for. And if I clear out the filter here, the other thing that I'll show you is we have, and maybe we should mark one of these tasks. We'll mark one of these tasks as, well, no, yeah, we'll mark it here in this task as in progress. And so that we can see what happens when we say a task is in progress. So we get a little indicator here on the card that shows it's partially complete. And the reason I want to show you that is because we also have a different view. Instead of grouping by bucket, which these buckets right now are set up by your town, you could actually group by progress. And now you could see from this view, you would be able to see which tasks have not started, which tasks are in progress, and so forth from this view. You could also group it by this way. So now I'm grouping all of the tasks. I'm actually grouping them. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I got a little cough or something going on here. So I'm now grouping them by those categories that you're talking, that you've requested, and I'll set them up as labels. And so now you can group them this way and slice all your activities this way, so you can see them across this way. And so with that, I just want to show you one other thing here. If I go, let's put this back to buckets, so we're back to where we started. And then I'll show you one last thing or capability that you have here, and that is what excuse me, that is within your charts. Within the charts, now you can see the number of tasks that are not started, in progress, late. You can see the towns as to how they're stacked up. The activities for each town is how they're stacked up. One is in progress, one is late, one is not started. You can see that here. And you can also see the number of activities that are tied to individuals. Excuse me, let me get a drink. You can see tied to individuals down below. And so with that, I think that kind of gives you some kind of meets all the requirements that you've asked for, and maybe you have a little bit, more that you can do from here than even what was on your list. So hopefully that meets your needs. The one thing I'd like to round out with, though, is again, I've been in the project management construction world for quite some time. And I'm not sure you got the best tool for the job. And again, I hope it does. I hope this meets your needs. But I just wanted to make you aware. I want to show you something here. So this Microsoft Planner, you can see what we've got here is a listing of all of the project management products that are offered by Microsoft. And this is a maturity scale, if you will, or kind of a capability scale, I should say. And you'll notice that Microsoft Planner is the lowest is the lowest tool on the chart, and it has the least capability. I'll send you a link to this article so you can look at it as well. And my instincts say that you, again, I hope this works for you, but my instincts say that you might quickly outgrow this planner tool. And what I would point you to next is this project for the web, because within project for the web it has some um, the much more scheduling features where you can, and the biggest one is to be able to tie tasks together using this scheduling dependencies, like where you can have, one task can't start until another task has finished. And I know in the real world, many tasks get pushed, and that causes a trickle down effect. And that would happen kind of automatically in Project for the Web, and within Planner, we don't have the ability to tie one task to the next. So that if this task for acquiring these permits runs late, you're going to have to go in and I'm assuming you have to have the permits before you want to acquire the equipment. And if this task runs late and you don't get those permits when you believe they're going to, then you're going to have to manually update the date. Manually updates. Hang on. You have to manually update the start and finish dates for the downstream or the successor tasks. All right, so that's